everybody. It's the Blizzard King. I love you guys. I'll talk to y'all later.
Well, I be damn. Look who done come up in here.
Hey, it's Kunta Kinte and Ebola.
Famine and blood diamond.
Yo, this man just hit me in my face with a brick and all these black men just watched.
That's Roda Osman. She's known virally as Brick Lady, and a Harris County jury has just found her guilty of theft by deception.
What have I ever done to anybody in my life to deserve this?
Back in 2023, she went viral when she made claims online that a man threw a brick at her head because she wouldn't give him her phone number.
This was a well thought of plan. A diabolical plan.
That's Olin Douglas. He's the man that was accused of throwing that brick, but he says that he got death threats after the video went viral. The Houston Police Department and Harris County District Attorney's Office investigated this case. They found that Roda Osman created a fake GoFundMe to profit off of this, about $42,000. When the jury convicted her, the judge had to tell her to calm down in the courtroom several times. The judge then sentenced her to 10 years of probation, and some of the conditions that she'll have to follow. First, she'll have to serve 90 days in jail. She'll also have to pay full restitution and then go to inpatient substance abuse treatment. But one of the biggest conditions of probation, the judge ordered 10 years of no using social media.
Yo, this.
What's up, everybody? This is Dennis Spurling coming live from my backyard, and this is for the Law and Legacy broadcast. This is an exclusive for the Law and Legacy broadcast. So, and we're going to talk about some law today. We're going to talk about some law and legacy. Okay? Roda Osman. Somebody type Brick Lady in the chat room. Somebody type Brick Lady in the chat room. You guys will remember back in September of 2023, there was a young woman who was in Houston from Minneapolis. I'm assuming she's an East African woman based on her name. She got on social media and said that a man had hit her in the face with a brick because he was trying to talk to her and she refused to give him the phone number. Now, I was one of the first people to hop on the internet and say, man, I know Houston very well, and that ain't it. Nobody's hitting these women in the face because they're not giving phone numbers. It's just ample opportunities out here to talk to women. So that's just ridiculous, just to even say that. Nevertheless, I think the story stunk, and, you know, most people who had good sense, they looked at the situation and said, nah, but there was still a lot of people who wanted to err on the side of protecting this woman, right? Protecting this black woman. Keep in mind, she is not a foundational black American. This woman is from, I believe, the Sudan or East Africa somewhere. She is not a foundational black American woman. I don't know exactly where she's from, but I know she's from East Africa. But anyway, she fell on the protect all black women, because even in her online rant, she said all these black men were around me and they saw him hit me in the face with a brick and they didn't do anything. Okay? Well, nevertheless, yesterday, the judge down in Harris County, the jury actually found her guilty. She has been found guilty of theft of something over $30,000 and under $150,000, namely her GoFundMe account, which at the time the affidavit was written by the police in 2024, had amassed $42,302. Let's not forget that $2, okay? And she was found guilty of theft, basically by fraud, basically lying, saying she was assaulted. She got all these people to donate money to her, and it was just a big fabrication, according to what the judge said, according to what the jury thought. So she had actually done a similar scam in Minneapolis, where there was a GoFundMe started, single Muslim woman attacked, helped pay her medical bills, and she was trying to raise $5,000. And then when the police officer here in Houston contacted the Minneapolis police department, they said there's no evidence that an assault claim, police report for assault had even been made by this woman. So at that point, they knew it was fishy, okay? Well, again, she's been found guilty by the jury. Here's what they hit her with: 90 days. 90 days in jail. She going to jail for 3 months. She is going to go to jail for 3 months. Okay, this is the person that all these people stood behind and said, oh, you protect black women, protect women. Why these men don't want to? Look, I'm just saying, just let's deal with it. Okay? Because there are a lot of people on here whose knee-jerk reaction was protect black women. There's a lot of black male simps who just said, you know what, it must be wrong because a black man is involved, so he's got to be wrong, even before even hearing all the evidence. She got 3 months in jail. On top of that, she's got to pay back that whole $42,302 in restitution. Restitution is something that a judge can award even in a criminal case, ordering somebody not just to go to jail or pay a punishment, so to speak, in the form of incarceration, but also financial. So now she's out $42,000. She better pay it. $42,000, 9 months in jail. And here's the kicker. She has to stay off of social media for 10 years. So we do not have to hear from Roda Osman for 10 years. If you even see her on the internet, you call up you call up the judge, you call up that probation officer, and they're going to revoke her probation and send her back. She was looking at a lot more time. And so in my opinion, she actually got off pretty easy. But, you know, the thing is, this should be a lesson learned. Stop jumping to conclusions. Just because somebody hops on the internet and makes some allegations, they're not vetted, they're not founded. In fact, this is really just a made-up story. And when you look at the affidavit, even the cops knew when they were doing the investigation. So here's how it went down. According to the affidavit, and apparently the jury believed this, so this is fair to talk about. And it's not disparaging her. This is apparently what the jury found. She had exited a club with her friend, Miss Griffin. Okay? Miss Griffin and the gentleman who allegedly hit her with the brick had all exited together. He got in the back seat. She got in the back seat. Miss Griffin, who was friends with apparently the other guy, the driver, got in the front seat. A few minutes later, they got out the back seat. Miss Osman got out the back seat, and the gentleman who allegedly hit her with the brick got out the back seat. Now, before they got in the back seat, there's video footage of her dancing on the man. So she's dancing on the man. It's 5:30 in the morning. Keep that in mind. You know, at that point, the cop was dispatched. So by the time he arrived there, it was 5:30 in the morning. It's early in the morning on September 3rd. Okay. And they are out hanging out at a club, okay? I think it was called the Liquid Lounge. They're out hanging out at the club, and she is dancing on this guy, okay? And they get in the back seat of, I guess, a friend or associate's vehicle. A few minutes later, they pop out of the car. Now, Roda Osman, according to the video footage, had something in her hand, and she took a right. She tried to hit dude across the head and apparently made contact with his face or head with whatever it was she had in her hand. So basically, she swung on him, and he instantaneously, okay, immediately swung back, okay, and he hit her with what he had in his hand, which was a water bottle. So she hit him, he hit her back, and then at some point he hopped in his car and left, and then that's when the video came on when she said some man hit me with a brick, and none of these men around here did anything. But it turns out not only was she not hit with a brick, but she actually instigated the whole situation, according to the affidavit from the police report, and based on the fact that the jury found that there was, that she had committed this crime. It was theft because it was based on fraud. You see what I'm saying? This is what it was. The story wasn't true. So, again, now here we are 2 years later, almost to a month, 25 months later, and the damage is done because here you have another situation where people jump to the conclusion, number one, because it was a black man involved, so he must be guilty. Number two, and this is the most insidious part we have to understand, because people you have a lot of women out there who empathize with Roda because, number one, they want to believe the brothers are bad. Number two, there's this fictitious belief that all women are just that attractive and they're so irresistible that if a man can't have this woman, right, he wants to try to destroy her. And women all across America can say, oh, yeah, that's right. That's my plight also. I'm just so beautiful that men who can't have me want to destroy. That's straight ego. That's narcissism. And it was because of that it compelled a lot of women to jump past rationale, past logic, and just go with this woman's fictitious story. And now all of you all have pie in your face. You all have to eat crow. Now, of course, people are not going to admit wrongdoing. People are not going to admit that this was totally a BS story, and they jump to conclusions because they want to continue vilifying black men, and they also wanted to, basically jump on the narcissist train and roll with this woman on her ego trip because they all believe, oh, I'm just so attractive that, every man wants me, and if he can't have me, then, he'll try to destroy me. And then, of course, there's always the underlying victim narrative. But, look, man, it is, the whole situation is unfortunate, but you got a lot of people who jumped on this to push the thing that black men don't protect black women. Keep in mind, and let me run this back to you again, this woman is not a foundational black American. And so she played on the fact that there's this undercurrent, there's this theme amongst foundational black Americans that black men don't protect black women. And that's just not true. Because there were black men all throughout the Americas, all throughout the United States, who literally, fought to defend black women, even when we were in bondage, and our children, okay? There's a reason we had the highest marriage rate until the federal government stepped in and incentivized baby mamaism, single motherhood, and divorce, okay? But, so in other words, that's a lie, all right? That's just a straight falsehood. It's a lie. It's not true. But there are people who come in, there are interlopers who come into our community, and I'm talking about Africans and Caribbeans and folk who come in from these other countries. They ease into our community, and they incite division between foundational black American men and foundational black American women. You should begin to look at these people with a jaundiced eye. When they start coming up with these cockamamie stories about what happened and when happened, recognize these people are interlopers to our black community here in the United States. And all that did, her whole situation, Brick Lady, all that did was cause division amongst foundational black Americans. See? And we like, but she not even one of us. And the man she said allegedly hit her, he's African too. You understand? The only one with good sense was her friend, Miss Griffin, because Miss Griffin, who was the one sitting in the front seat of the vehicle when Miss Roda Osman was in the back seat with the gentleman doing whatever or not doing whatever, I don't know. She's clearly a black American, and she said, I don't even believe that she got hit with a brick. This is what she told the police officer at the scene. So at the scene of the incident, when the cop was doing the investigation, Miss Griffin, who was the friend, said, I don't believe she was hit with a brick. So even off rip, the young sister was not co-signing with this woman's scammery and shenanigans. All right, but it is what it is, man. She's going to jail for 90 days, okay? She's got enough money. I don't think you all need to put some on the books, but if you want to, I would be more than happy to provide the Harris County Sheriff's Office phone number for you all in the comments section if you ask for it, and y'all can put some money on Roda Osman's books, okay? But again, family, all right, we have enough division in the black American community. We don't need these infiltrators and outsiders coming in. And literally what she did was tether her story and exploit the real issues that black American men and women have and tried to make money off of it. She literally tethered her pain to black Americans' women's pain, okay? Our 400 years are decades and decades, centuries of pain and exploitation. She tethered to it and say, see, me too. You're not even a foundational black American woman. You are from East Africa. I don't know if it's Eritrea, Sudan, wherever you from. You are not from here, okay? You are not from here. But you are over here causing issues. You're over here making up stories and lying and fabricating and pretending, and now you're going to go to jail. You're going to go to jail for 90 days, and you earn every day that you're going to be in jail. I hope that your uniform is itchy, okay? I hope that all you're able to eat when you're in there is dried up potatoes and rice. I hope the milk is sour. I hope each and every day that you are in the jailhouse, you think about the harm that you have caused to the greater foundational Black American community because of your fabrications and dishonesty. I hope that you have an opportunity to think. Now, me, I gave her more time. She'd at least done 6 months. She at minimum 6 months. But the judge was lenient. He only gave her 90 days. But let me tell you a little something about probation. And this is just from the perspective of an attorney. And you guys know I'm an attorney. You know, shout out to me. Don't forget, you've been in a car accident, give me a call, 713-229-0770. But this is how probation works, okay? Oftentimes, prosecutors, they assess a case, and they can kind of tell the career criminals from the, we'll say, passive criminals, people that are just not bad people, they just committed a crime. We can kind of tell, you know, and an experienced prosecutor, they can kind of look at, and part of the thing they do is try to figure out who's habitual and who's just a one-timer. Cool, okay? The other thing they try to assess is what the jury will do, all right? So in the sense of what probation is really a trap, especially when you think you have kind of like a weak case. If you're a prosecutor and you're sitting in a situation and you're looking at the case like these facts are bad, or the jury is just, this is going to be one of those jury nullification situations, because the jury is going to look at this and say, nah, he might be wrong, but we don't think he's wrong. It's not wrong enough for us to deprive this individual of his freedom or her freedom. And so you got a jury nullification, so you can't get a guilty verdict, one way or the other. So in order to avoid that L, oftentimes what prosecutors will do is say, look, you stay in jail or we'll give you probation with a small fine. And they count on the fact that you're going to do something else again. If you have a person who has been convicted on multiple occasions of multiple things, then there's a good chance that they're going to commit another crime in the near future. And if you put them on probation, number one, that's a violation of their probation terms, and you don't have to go before a jury so you can put them in jail. You don't have to ask the jury you don't have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this person committed a crime. They agreed to probation. They agreed to 5 years, 10 years of probation. And you count on the fact that they're going to go out there and DUI again. They're going to go out there and do another assault. They're going to go out there and do another petty theft. And then you could just violation probation. You can and violate them and lock them back up, period. And it's very difficult to prove that. They pick you up and put you in jail for a violation of probation. That's a wrap. And so what people don't understand is that probation is a trap. It literally is. It sounds like, oh, we're letting you off easy, but really it's just a snare, because now you violated probation and you're going to get tried for the new crime that you committed, except you're coming in there with handcuffs and your little gray uniform on, and the jury's going to be like, okay, you one of them, okay? So in this particular case, not only is this woman going to be 90 days in jail, but the judge put her on probation for 10 years. And here's another thing, 10 years of no social media, that's pretty strict. And with a person like this, I can't see them being able to adhere to that, okay? Especially in the world where social media is absolutely necessary for communication. But, you know, the other thing, so it'll be difficult to see how she withstands that over the next 10 years, but it sounds like a trap. The other thing is, family, that $42,000. Now, the judge is probably going to give her a certain time period to pay that, okay? Now, you're looking at a woman who's already broke, okay? Because if she wasn't broke, she wouldn't be on the internet trying to, have a GoFundMe account to help pay her medical bills in Minneapolis and help pay, whatever it was she think, raise money on the internet. It's scammy all the way out. It's just scammy. But for her to be able to pay $42,000, and I guess depending on how much time the judge gives her to pay it back, think about that. And that's $42,000. Oftentimes it's with interest. I haven't actually looked at the actual judgment, but $42,302 over how long? Does she have a year to pay it back? Most Americans don't make $42,000 in a year. Is it 2 years? Okay, I guess that's twice as much time, but that's still about $20,000 a month if you spread it out over even payments. So he's going to give her, how many years is he going to have? Is it 20? Probably not, because the court wants his money. And if you don't pay the court its money, you still are in violation. You still going to get your probation revoked. So this is what she's dealing with. So the judge has set her up with multiple traps. You're going to go to jail for 90 days. You're going to be on probation, stay off social media. But that $42,302, that's the killer. Because, see, the judge wants that money paid back. And if you don't pay that money back, right, you're going to jail. You're in violation again. And the truth is, a lot of people, and I've had guys say, well, man, either, you know, especially dealing with like some people, you guys know, traffic tickets, traffic warrants, et cetera, et cetera. Either you pay $1,300 or just go to jail for 7 days. A lot of people say, man, just send me to jail. Okay, it might be easier just to do 7 days or 10 days or 30 days in jail than to pay back $1,300. Imagine trying to pay back $42,000 if the judge, say, gives you 4 years to do it, and you don't have the opportunity to use social media to raise the money. Okay, that's a bad situation, man. But you know, that's the law and the legacy. That's a lesson learned for all you all who keep coming up with these fraudulent GoFundMe accounts, all this scamming. You're going to go to jail. Okay, this is not the time to play like that. For the people out there who are real victims, understand that when people get on the internet and they make these false allegations of how they were victims, it makes people who would otherwise be charitable and willing to donate more hesitant to do that, because you have all these liars and thieves and crooks and scammers who take advantage of your kind-heartedness. And that in itself, taking advantage of someone who gives willingly, that's unfortunate. Okay, and that's the first lesson we need to learn. We definitely need to shut these folk down who are taking advantage of good, kind, beautiful, wonderful, the generosity of the general American. And shout out to all the beautiful people who gave and who donated to this woman thinking that she was really hurt. I salute you for that. Okay, and it's unfortunate that you know, she was this type of unscrupulous individual that would take advantage of your kindness. The other thing is family, and I'm talking specifically to the Black American family. Let's not jump to conclusions when people jump out and try to use the legal system against people. Just because they call the police on somebody, right, doesn't mean that a crime was committed. Remember, this woman called the police alleging that a black man hit her in the face with a brick. And come to find out, she was the one that hit, she took the right, she tried to hit him with the right, and he countered with the right, okay? And in that regard, he was defending himself. And so when the police officers did the investigation, you know, she was the one who ended up going to jail and who ended up being penalized and put on probation for 10 years. And so, you know, it's a good thing to always let all the facts come in before we jump to conclusion. I know that's kind of cliche, and people tend to want to believe the victim, and they get hysterical. But remember, in this particular situation, you had a lot of black women who identified with this dark-skinned woman who was definitely black, but clearly not culturally Black American or foundational Black American. And you sided with her. You know, the sister code said, let's just side with her. But she played on you. She played you like a sucker. All you black women out there, and I'm talking to my Black American sisters, you got played by this African immigrant tether chick who tethered her lie to your real pain, and you got suckered for it. That does not make her respect you. That doesn't. You're next time, look at these people with skepticism. Allow the story to play out. Make sure you're not getting played by suckers. And the other thing, all you black men who just jump to the side of, yeah, protect all women, you're simps. Because now, look what you did. And look, there's nothing wrong with protecting black women. There's nothing wrong with protecting any woman. I don't believe you should harm any woman. And you definitely should be the type of jerk that calls women out their name because they don't want to give you their phone number. Accept it like a man and move on. You see what I mean? Get a passport. You know what I'm saying? They can't wait for you to come down there. But the bottom line, and you shouldn't call them out their name, and you definitely shouldn't put hands on them. Period. That shows that there's a lack of maturity, and you got issues that you don't even need a woman. You need a therapist. But again, you brothers, you did the same thing these women did. You jumped to the aid. Maybe you had issues. Maybe you had issues seeing your mother growing up being violated by men. Maybe you you know, maybe you think about your daughter being violated and what you would do. But again, this woman played you. She played off the men and the women. And the other thing is, it caused division. It was like a litmus test. Do you side with Roda Osman or not? You know, back in the day, you know, do you side with her or not? Because if you automatically looked at her story with skepticism, then you were a patriarch, you were a woman beater, you were all these horrible things. If you just looked at it and say, hold on, let's wait till all the facts come in. Oh, no, you must be a woman beater. You must side with him. You must be just like that. So people tried to shun. You had men and women doing that. So those of us who were looking at it from a perspective of, hey, let's separate ourselves from the emotion of this and look at this from a logical standpoint, they were looking at us like we're bad guys. No, I just don't believe the story just because she said it. I want to see some proof. I want to see some facts. I want to hear what the witnesses have to say. And lo and behold, here we are. All right. And, you know, that's a lesson learned, because all it did was divide us. And irrespective of the fact that the young man has been vindicated, his life is ruined. His face has been plastered all over the internet. Right. And so now he's in a situation where he's got to constantly explain that. If I were that young man, I would file a defamation lawsuit against Roda Osman. Young man, if you see me on these internet streets right now, my name is Dennis Spurling. Contact me at 713-229-0770. Okay. Now, I don't necessarily need to be your lawyer, but there are lawyers out there who will file a defamation lawsuit against that woman because she clearly disparaged your name. And although she's going to go to jail, the fact that she's been found to have lied or theft of that money, which means that it was false, the GoFundMe and the context of that particular GoFundMe was false, that means you probably have a good chance of winning a defamation lawsuit against Roda Osman, and you should do that. And I think that anytime somebody lies on you in public and disparages your name and reputation, don't call them names, file a lawsuit. Don't take up arms, file a lawsuit. Don't resort to their tactics and do what they did. No, file a lawsuit and go after their wealth and their money, and basically, you know, that time and energy and money that they have to spend to pay you back, you're literally taking their time and energy and resources away from them, and you can't replace that type of time. Okay, and that's the best thing to do. That's how we shut down all these lies and fabrications and misrepresentation. It doesn't matter if it's a man, woman, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, alien, a midget with a wooden leg and a kickstand, a goat, a cheetah, a rhinoceros, whoever it is. If they got smoke and they want to talk reckless about you, you take the legal course. That's what we do, okay? That's the best course of action. That's what we do in a civilized society. But other than that, family, I hope you all appreciate this installment of Law and Legacy. And I will be back another day. Y'all hit the #1 button. Shout out to everybody who contributed to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. And as I always say all the time, I'm out. What's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome to the broadcast. This is Uncle D. People wash their ass in the tub, Kamala Harris.
You would tune in to Uncle D. This black man talk, pull up, homie, take a seat. Don't be a shadow watcher every day. You learn something, then you earn something. And let them know and drop some money in the plate. It's getting cold, ladies, talking ratchet. There's a king here, grab your coat, zip your jacket. Keep quiet for a second, close your jaw. Attorney Spurling, this ain't pearly, know the law. Talking Constitution, pushing pins when he shooting, give him that. Masculinity, just for the record, sprinkle that. You can keep your cat, gotta cut it. Only cat he rubbing, gotta love it. I call it Molly Buddy. Gotta vote your interest, voting earns. Presidential, this is for the money that I earn. When you gon' learn, my people, that evil mixed with evil. No matter what you're doing, baby, this ain't equal. Sometimes when you're special, you get hated. The test is for the best, you're damn right, my people made it. Uncle D, Blizzard King, you been served, gotta notice. Now black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice. Now black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice. Now black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice. Now black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now.
Hey man, I'll do what I do.
Somebody need to whip your ass.
Get up and whip him, sweets. Hey, don't be putting the money in my hand all rough.
Take your ass out here. You buy you a Flowbee and cut your own damn hair from now on.